Tecfidera is still a relatively new product, so we're really excited about some of the longer-term outcomes that we're able to highlight here at AAN. So we're highlighting on the efficacy side our 6-year follow-up. So patients that were in Define and Confirm and continued into Endorse, we have 6-year data showing that over 50% of the patients that continued on the therapy did not have any evidence of either disability progression or relapses. So we think that's really a great outcome for those folks. We think that what's really important to patients is, do they see if they're progressing or am I still having relapses? So we really focused on those important clinical endpoints and looked over a long period of time. Obviously, MS is a chronic disease and patients will be living with this for the rest of their lives, and we want to make sure that they're having a high quality of life. So by looking at these endpoints, we think that those are the patients that really are receiving a lot of benefit from taking this therapy. We continue to look, also learn about the drug, and the way that we really have been focusing on that is looking more at the lymphocyte counts. And we continue to also look at the lymphocyte counts in that Endorse study. So we're looking at both the safety and the efficacy. And what we find is, in agreement with the label in the US, that you can monitor absolute lymphocyte counts, and that's a really good and easy marker to really assess patients' risk for safety events. And what we find is that, if patients have prolonged lymphopenia, then, and it's over 6 months, that's a really good marker, and those are the patients you should consider, having a discussion with them, whether they're the benefit of the risk of that drug. But the good news is that, if patients aren't lymphopenic by that first year, most likely, they're it's a very low chance that they will ever be lymphopenic. I think that these types of information is really, this is valuable for clinicians and for how they can accurately talk about Tecfidera with their patients. So, Tecfidera is widely available throughout the US, Europe, Australia, Canada, most major markets. We continue to try to make sure that this therapy, which we think is a valuable option, is available for patients. For instance, we just recently filed, and our file was accepted in Japan. So we continue to try to make it available, but we're really pleased that it is available in many places. I think that Tecfidera has a really excellent efficacy demonstrated by these long-term data and demonstrated from, for instance, the real-world data where we looked at this drug versus interferons, Copaxone, Aubagio, and fingolimod on the relapse rate. And what those data showed is that it's comparable to fingolimod and superior to those other therapies. So we think this is really a very good choice. We have a way to monitor for safety events, and it would be really appropriate higher efficacy product for many patients, and especially patients early in the course of their disease. We're really pleased that, I think we talked in ECTRIMS about PML, and since then we haven't had any further cases, and there haven't been any new safety events. So we think we have a very well characterized safety profile, and ideally also, an easy way to monitor and mitigate that risk. We're really focusing additionally, so what I talked about earlier was the clinical trial data, and what we're really thinking now is, what's the real world data? And that's really important to think about as well, because obviously clinical trials are a selected population of patients, and, once it's available, anybody can use it if it's an appropriate choice. So we're really also looking at, healthcare claims data and electronic medical registries to really understand how this is showing up, both from a safety and efficacy perspective. I think that, Biogen, we've been a pioneer. We continue to try to bring important therapies. We hope to bring some more therapies to the patient population very soon. We're looking at other ways to address the problems caused by the disease. And we look forward to other options. Having more options is always in the patient's best interest, and I think that we will continue to try to address that unmet need of the patient population. And we're very proud of what we've done.